Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoes.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another stout review. We only have 5 days left of stoutness. Makes me a sad, sad panda. Tonight we're checking out from Westbrook Brewing Company, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, as per the label. I don't know if that's changed because this beer is old. This is Mexican Cake, and this is the 2015 vintage. Bottled on June 4th of 2015. Right above that date it says, best consumed fresh, do not age or cellar. So we were cleaning out the wine fridge over the weekend, and this was stuck behind like 3 of my wife's bottles of wine, so I had no clue it was there. I have actually reviewed this beer before. I reviewed this with Mr. Nathan Ryerson from Behind the Bar. It was 3 years ago, I think. He was out in San Diego, and we actually did a horizontal of this beer. We did the regular Mexican Cake, we did the cognac barrel-aged Mexican Cake, and we did the bourbon barrel-aged Mexican Cake, all in one video. And if I'm being honest with you, we had been sharing beers that whole weekend. That was one of the later reviews in the evening, and I couldn't tell you what this beer would taste like anymore. Don't remember. I was wearing a fucking sombrero. We were having a good time. So if I remember, I'll leave a link. You can check that beer out, or that review out, the Mexican Cake horizontal. Those were good times. 10.5% alcohol by volume, imperial stout aged on cocoa nibs, vanilla bean, cinnamon sticks, and fresh habanero peppers. I am actually hoping, with 4 years on this beer, almost, that the habanero peppers have fallen off, because I'm not a big spicy fan when it comes to beer. Let's get into this one, shall we? We're going to use our Answer Final Fantasy glassware because I love this fucking glass. It's amazing. Let's see what she's got. The old 2015 vintage. This pour is actually pretty dark. This is kind of like, isn't this kind of like how Abraxas and Huna is? It's kind of like that Mexican hot chocolate sort of a thing. It's got cinnamon and peppers and vanilla and all that stuff. I think it is. I can't remember. Pitch black in the glass. There's a good finger of that awesome, like, creamy mocha head. It's pretty marshmallowy, dissipating fairly quickly. 10%. I guess you would expect that. I mean, again, the beer is like somebody's catching up. The beer is, you know, almost 4 years in the bottle. When we swirl this, yeah, there's alcohol like streaking down. It looks fire in that glassware. One of the greatest glasses ever. Changed my mind. Let's go ahead and ship our fat nose in. Oh, also, I don't remember who I got this beer from. I have no clue where this came from. I thought the beer that we reviewed when Nathan was here, that was my beer. I thought that was the only bottle of that I had. So, no clue where this beer came from. So, here we go. So, honestly, there's not much to this nose. All I really get is like a roast kind of a aroma. It just smells roasty. There's no vanilla, there's no cinnamon on the nose, but we just drank the churro stout from Modern Times a couple days ago. When I smelled that, I couldn't smell cinnamon, but I definitely tasted it, so I've got high hopes for the taste of this beer. Yeah, it's like this kind of generic sort of coffee-ish roast. There's a little bit of chocolate in there. And there's like again, a generic sweetness. I say generic because I know there's vanilla in here, but I would never be able to pick out that that's vanilla. So, near 11%, doesn't smell like booze. It just smells like kind of a roasty, chocolatey stout. So let's go ahead and taste it. Cheers. First thing I will say, beer is pretty thin. There's a good amount of pepper left still. It's definitely not spicy, but there's like this pepper skin, like charred pepper skin on the finish. And it comes off kind of with like a bitter sort of pepper thing. I always used to like watching John, when John and Eric used to review beers. He would drink coffee beers, and a lot of times he would say Fajita Town because it would remind him of peppers. This beer is pretty Fajita Towny, if that's a word. I mean, if we're being honest, I don't get any cinnamon. That generic sweetness is there, but I would never be able to pick out vanilla. It says on the bottle not to cellar this beer, not to age it. This beer, like I said, almost 4 years in the bottle. It's not outstanding. Nothing stands out with this beer with all those adjuncts. They're pretty much gone. That roast that you smell on the aroma carries over. But at this point, this beer is pretty forgettable, if we're being honest. And I mean, that's my own fault. I forgot I had this beer. It's not the beer's fault. I'll have to go back and watch my review from a couple years ago when I had a fresh bottle. I remember liking this beer. I just don't, I couldn't tell you what it tastes like exactly right now. I remember liking it. I remember liking the bourbon barrel aged version a lot. But yeah, I mean, it's just like this kind of plain, it's like a plain Jane kind of generic, a little bit of chocolatey, fairly roasty on the finish with like that crazy pepper skin fajita town thing. It's, like I said, it's forgettable. It's meh. It's boring. It's your average run-of-the-mill imperial stout. Nothing crazy stands out about this beer with 4 years of age on it. So we are not going to grade it. It's not the beer's fault. I was hoping like maybe we'd open this up and it would be amazing, but it's not. But like I said, I know it's not the beer's fault because I've had this before and I like it. So yeah, don't age these beers. Do what the label says. It says drink it fresh. Drink it fresh. This one doesn't do any good with time on it. So that's about it. There's really not much else to say. So that's Westbrook Mexican Cake from 2015. If you guys have a bottle of this, I would suggest you open it. There's really not much to it, but it'd be interesting to talk to someone else who has this beer right now. But if you had this fresh and you enjoyed it, leave a comment. We could talk about it. I'm going to go back and watch my old review too with Nathan because goddamn it, that was a good time. So I'm out of here, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you very soon. Cheers.
Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the Fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoe.